What'd you make of your defensive team watching that game from the sideline?
Takeaways. First thing that jumped off the page to me. That's the emphasis, taking the ball away. We even scored on one, so I think tackling could be a little better, but it's hard. The first live bullets game, but yeah, that takeaway category is the biggest thing.
So you're pleased with what you're seeing?
Oh, I'm happy but not satisfied.
What a couple of those rookies, and you mentioned the pick six by Martin, but what has he shown you overall, and then Isaiah with those two sacks that pull off?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just competing. That on that play, that pick, it looked like, it was a fight for the ball. It was like a 50-50 shot, and he just, the guy in Jacksonville, he wanted to have it. I mean, he wanted it, but Martin had to have it. So just competing on the ball. And like you said, IT, I mean, just going out there, fighting motor, just going to the whistle blows. And that's like one component of having a good defense, but, we just got to put everything all together. But it's a good start, I say.
What do you expect to get from these joint practices with the Eagles later this week?
They have a good offense. I mean, I was just looking like at the roster. They got a lot of new guys, proven players in this league, and it's gonna be fun to go out there, at a practice setting and compete with those dudes. It counts for something, but obviously we know we're not keeping score or anything like that. So I just see it as a fun opportunity to get better against a great group of guys.
You looking back at the Giants practices, do you think that was kind of the climax of training camp and got you ready?
I think so. Usually the starters don't play in that game when you have joint practices. I think we're going to do that again this year. So that's like our game, going against guys like that. And last year we competed. I think I'm not going to say dominated, but I think we won that battle at practice. And I'm just looking forward to doing it again.
Do you think the joint practices, for you as a player when it comes to preparing for the season, do you think that they have more value to you than maybe these preseason games do?
I think it goes both ways. Like I said, it's not really live, so you can't really say it has more value than the preseason game. But I do think, it's more structured, more organized. Like we got a 7-on-7 period. We know it's past, so we can really work on our, our fundamentals and technique and different aspects like that. But I wouldn't say it's like 50-50. You get a lot from both.
Could you see them, though? Do you think it might be beneficial for the NFL to look at the preseason, because it doesn't count in the win-loss column, to maybe alter these preseason games to where there are red zone periods, or like you were talking about, 7-on-7 situations and things like that? Do you think that could be something that the league could institute?
I mean, I think it's interesting. I've never really thought of it, but I think that'd be interesting. Like literally have a red zone period where you keep score. That'd probably be cool, but I'm not sure. They probably will stick to the script. It won't change much.
Hey John, last year was your first in the AFC North. Were the games what you imagined they'd be? Were they radically different from division games you played in previously?
Oh, 100%. They're tougher. Like stakes are higher. It seems like it seems like we beat each other up, and then whoever makes it out and catches fire at the right time ends up going far. As you saw, a team from our division made it all the way. So a division like this where you're competing at a high level, it goes a long way. Like I said, a long time ago, I think we kind of hit more, and it's bigger. It's a lot more tight ends, a lot fullbacks and stuff like that. So it is a big difference, I say.
I was going to ask you, it's starting to look like the NFC West in some ways, especially with the quarterbacks. Do you think this defense, the way it's constructed now, a lot of speed, perfectly suited for the kind of quarterbacks you're going to face in this division?
I think so. And like you said, Zach Taylor came from where I came from. So that offense, like you said, is kind of changing over a little bit. Then, like you said, the development of quarterbacks and just speed in general is kind of changing the usual pro-style offenses. So, but like you said, the defense that's why we put those guys out there, more nickels, more safeties, more corners to match up with what the game's coming to.
John, Stefanski has kind of reconfigured the way he's playing these 3 preseason games from last year. Like, you probably won't play until the Chicago game, the last game. Are you interested in how that works? Is that a better way than what he did last year?
I think it's a good plan. The first preseason game is always kind of rough and rocky, so like we sat out a few key guys, but a lot of starters still played. So I like how we did it. And then the joint practices with the Eagles, like I said, that is our game. And then the third game, we got to get it going. We got to tackle. We got to get into the groove of things. So I like how our format is.
I don't think anybody played in the last game last year. To me, it's a big difference.
We did. Yeah, we did. In Atlanta, yeah, we played. I think it wasn't that much though, but yeah, we played, and like you said, just tackling a guy to the ground, getting down underneath your belt before, you know, the real deal comes.
John, I was going to ask you that. You've mentioned tackling a couple times. Obviously, you haven't done any of that out here. It doesn't seem like you're going to. Is that okay? Like, are you good with that? I know Kevin's trying to balance keeping guys healthy and stuff, but is there enough contact and full-on hitting out here?
It's tough to say, but I mentioned earlier, it's more like angles and stuff like that for me, and we get a lot of that work, like literally. Every single snap is like a tackling rep for us. It's just, like you said, the contact is not really there. We thud occasionally, you know, but really it's just the contact, getting your body bruised up for big hits is the biggest thing. But like angles, tracking, knowing where your eyes are, we get tons of work at that.
John, speaking of the AFC North, everybody saw Jamar Chase, the Bengals receivers, saying that they were excited to go against you guys. You guys talked a lot. You won that battle last year. Did you see that? Do you think that's kind of cool to have that go that back and forth with those guys?
Oh yeah, I mean, it makes for good, you know, TV. Like a lot of people gonna watch that game, but you know, at the end of the day, we got to go out there and be the best version of, you know, the Browns that we can be, and it's a great opportunity to compete. They got a great group from top to bottom on that offense, so it's fun. It's a division game. They went to the Super Bowl. They want what we, they have what we want, so it'll be fun to go out there and compete.
John, does this defense emphasize angles more than where you were before, or is it similar?
It's similar. I think at this level, you emphasize it a whole lot, you know, especially like on the back end, because we're like the last line of defense. So it's really, the margin for error is extremely small. So I think it's pretty much the same across the league.
John,
the defensive players thinking about Carolina and what's up ahead there yet?
Not yet. We're mastering our, you know, our scheme, our system, just trying to compete, push ourselves to be better, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there, kind of.
John, how's Alpha Dog going? Are you guys still doing that?
Oh yeah, we're still doing it. I have a team. There are 4 teams. I have a team named after me. We're in first place right now by a lot.
Who's on your team?
JOK, Isaiah Thomas, Parnell Motley, DeAnthony Bell. He has a bunch of great players. Yeah, my team is ahead by a large margin. So we're
Good
gonna.
at fantasy football.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna keep that up, and we're fighting, but it's still going.
Is that going to go through like the end of camp? Do you guys know? Has Joe Woods told you the timeline?
I believe so, but it's gonna get tricky, like with cuts coming up. So I believe it goes all the way through preseason.
How were those teams picked?
Randomly, the coaches picked them. So they must have knew something. I don't know why my team is elite, but I don't know.
So you had to be fired up about Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So what you do in practice also scores points?
Absolutely. Practice, preseason games, not like one-on-one period, like team period, 7-on-7, that all counts.
There's a difference between having depth and quality. So my question is, when you look at your group in the secondary, do you guys really, not just from a confidence standpoint, do you guys really feel like not only are we deep, but we're really good deep?
Absolutely. Like I mentioned before, A.J. Green could be a starter on teams. Ronnie was a starter. I mean, he still kind of is a starter in this defense. So like you said, we do have quality depth, guys that have played a lot of football and, you know, can be starters on different teams. So it's not just like we got a bunch of guys, but like you said, at any given moment, if someone steps down, another guy can come right in with no trouble.
Is there any worry that Denzel's not back yet and Greg's now not practicing?
Well, it's not, you know, that's the name of the game in this league. Honestly, make it to the race is my mindset about it. And as long as, you know, week 1 they're ready to go with enough mileage under their legs, I think we'll be good.
Joel said yesterday that, you know, you can hear the booze. You can hear, you know, because of Deshaun, whatever, you can hear that happening. He also said it's kind of Cleveland against the world. Is that kind of the mentality you guys have? It's like you got to just hunker down together and get through, you know, whatever's going to come your way.
Absolutely. You know, you got to bring the guys together. I think a situation like this, you know, does bring the whole team together, especially on the road like that. It's just us, literally. We travel down there on a plane, and it's just us. So, you know, if we could band together and use that as momentum, use that as fuel, I think it's good for us, honestly.
Were you surprised that little crowd made so much noise?
I was. It sounded like they were pumping crowd noise in the PA system, but yeah, I was a little surprised when the game first started.
John, could you just, for fans that don't understand, but just like the pure football element of supporting Deshaun and separating what he's going through versus what you guys need him to do on the field, could you just maybe explain as a leader just the player's perspective on that and how you view that whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, you know, football is like the greatest team sport. I think I said in another interview, you know, you wouldn't want any teammate to go through like any type of controversy, whether it's they got COVID, you know, a death in the family. So any type of situation like that, you don't want to see them go through that. And like I said, each 11 person got to do their job, and it just so happens that he's probably the most prolific role on the team, the most seen position on the team. So, like I said, it goes for any position, any person on the team, any person in an organization. But it just so happens that he's that position, so we got to rally around him, and like I said, we'll come out better from it.
John, who's sitting on a big year? You had to pick one.
Sitting on a big year?
Yeah.
A not known guy. I mean, I'm gonna just say Myles Garrett, just because we know what he can do, and I feel like the defensive player of the year thing, and stuff like that. I feel like he feels like he's been slighted a little bit, so I think he's just gonna finally get over that hump this year.
Underrated.
Right, a guy like that underrated.
Well, no, who under the radar?
Oh, under the radar?
Answer his question.
I'm gonna go to rookie, Martin. I'm gonna go to rookie. I honestly, right now, I don't know how that situation is gonna go, like who's gonna do what and whatever, but I think he'll find a way to have a big year too. Yep, absolutely.
Everybody's excited on the sideline about him scoring.
100%.
Is there something about him that you guys, really get you fired up?
I mean, anytime you come in as a young guy, you want to see them do well. He was wasn't he the first guy picked in this year's draft? So it's not really a lot of weight on his shoulders, but it's kind of like all eyes on him. So when you see a guy like that have a performance, you want to get behind him and cheer for him. So all good.
On that pick six, I mean, you saw his physicality, and we've seen it out here on the practice field. I guess just to have a rookie who has his size, who isn't afraid to be physical.
Right.
It seems like it adds something different to this DB unit. I guess just what is your perspective on that?
Yeah, I mean, we got all different types of guys at that corner position. From him, Greedy is similar body type, but then you got a guy like Denzel who's quick and fast. Greg moves and plays nickel, could play outside, different body type as well. So it just adds to the versatility of the group. And like I said, I mean, the more guys you can get to go out there and execute at a high level is great for us.
This NFL 100 list is filtering out here.
Yep.
Your name has not been mentioned yet, so two-part question. One, do you take that personally? And two, just how serious do players take this, this NFL 100 thing?
Do I take it personally? Not so much. I mean, sometimes I look at the list and I see guys that I've had similar or better years than, even in the past, not just last year. Honestly, I think I can double what I did last year, but not just last year. I look at the list and see guys that I know, it could have went either way. So I don't really take it too personally. And what was the second part of it again?
How much do you guys as players really pay attention and care about?
It's kind of like the Pro Bowl versus All Pro. It's kind of like a popularity contest, fan vote. Guys know who really goes out there and do what they're supposed to do. So it's just kind of like whatever, honestly, to me.
But when you talk about guys that get big years, when you mentioned Greg, when you're going through those corners, or those Bengals guys, I don't think he's elite.
Right.
See a guy that can have a big year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he had a big year, just wasn't in the interception column. If it goes passer rating, pass deflection, stuff like that, he's up there with anybody else. So I think just because it's interceptions or just because his name isn't common right now, I think that's why they said that. But he'll be a very good corner in this league.
Do you think he's elite? Has that potential?
Definitely has the potential. I would say he has the potential. I'll leave it there.